Successful people think a lot differently than unsuccessful people think. If you want to begin on that journey to being a successful person, you first and foremost have to begin thinking and implementing different facets of your life to being a successful person. So if you want to be a successful person, you must start thinking like a successful person. And they have these qualities that are essential to become successful. Alright, so today we're going to be covering 9 of those qualities, but keep in mind you're not limited to these. They're just a good foundation to start implementing these into your life to start on that path, okay? As author and entrepreneur Jim Rohn said, life is about preparation. Think about it. When you start first grade, you're preparing to ultimately go to second grade, right? And that prepares you for third. All of your elementary years prepare you for middle school, which prepares you for high school, and hopefully that's meant to prepare you for college or getting a job or just kind of living your life afterwards, right? And then on a day-to-day basis, I mean, we prepare for, we prepare in the morning by brushing our teeth and getting dressed to go to work. We prepare in the evening by kicking our shoes off, taking a bath, getting in pajamas to go to bed. We prepare our meals. We prepare ourselves before we go to the gym. We stretch. We're preparing for everything. So we can't treat success any differently, right? You must prepare for success. It's not just gonna happen, okay? With that said, let's go ahead and dive into all these qualities that make up a successful person. Quality number 1. Successful people read every day. Now, there are some people that read a book a month, they read a book a week, or even some that read a book a day. But I'm not saying that you need to read a book a day to be successful, but if you're not reading at least 30 minutes each day, then that needs to change, because we need to read to start gaining a better understanding of the world around us, learning perspectives of other people, so that way you can literally go about any situation from multiple perspectives and see which of those perspectives are going to work best in that situation, so to speak, right? So we always need to be constantly learning, constantly growing by reading. I just started reading a book a week, and I love doing that. I just essentially will take the amount of pages it is, and I'll divide that by 7, and I'll read that many pages a day. So that way you're not overwhelming yourself, like thinking, oh, I have to read all this stuff in one day. You break it up throughout the week, so that way you kind of take one step at a time. You kind of you're able to absorb all the information and allow it to stick by not taking in all kinds of information one day, right? So with that said, read at least 30 minutes. I would recommend at least an hour would be really ideal. But if you're new to reading, or if you don't read much as it is, just begin by reading 30 minutes a day, ease into it, get used to that, and then you can start bumping it up, okay? Unsuccessful people are going to fill their days with mindless habits, mindless tasks, being scrolling through their Instagram and Facebooks for most of the day, or they're always checking their emails, or they're always playing video games or watching TV shows on Netflix for hours on end. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do those things, because they're healthy. We need to do things that we enjoy, and if those are things you enjoy, please do them. I encourage you to do them, but just don't allocate a lot of the hours in your day just to be doing those things. I love playing video games, but I'll play my video game for an hour once every 4 to 5 days now. I used to play it every night, but I would feel guilty because I would think, man, is this really productive for my future? Is this going to be conducive to creating a long-term future of success? So unless you're a video game player and you're streaming on Twitch to earn money, awesome, keep playing video games all day. Man, I would love to have that job. But either way, just don't allocate a lot of these mindless tasks to most of your day. Do a lot of the reading, do a lot of the self-education, and then at the end of the day, or every couple days, reward yourself by playing those games or doing something that you enjoy. Oh, my light fell down. We'll fix that. Quality number 2. Successful people sincerely compliment other people. Think about it. A lot of the time you're going to see people online, especially if someone presents an idea or something new that they're doing, you're going to see a lot of people saying, that's a dumb idea, or that's stupid, or your hair looks funny, something completely irrelevant to the video, right? People will do that in real life often as well. And the reason this isn't conducive is, one, you're just spreading out that negativity, and it's not going to help anybody. It's not even going to help yourself. And at the end of the day, you probably won't be as happy or as filled with gratitude as you could be by putting someone down. But what's important is that you're giving genuine compliments. Now, don't just go find somebody and say, oh, I like your shirt, or I think what you're doing is cool, if you don't like their shirt or you don't think they're cool, right? Or what they're doing is cool. Don't go being a fake complimenter. But if you see something sincere in somebody, if you see someone wearing an article of clothing that you think is funny or really cool, be sure to mention it to them, and you might even make their day, because maybe they're having a terrible day, and you just giving them that compliment is going to give them that mood boost that they need to continue on being a productive person the rest of the day, or they'll pay it forward and compliment someone else. And you can really just ultimately change someone's day or life just by that one little compliment. For example, when I was at the gym about a week ago, I saw this guy had this shirt on, and it said Gym and Juice. and it's a reference to a song where he talks about gin and juice, right? But I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was pretty funny and it was pretty motivating. So I actually stopped my workout when he wasn't working out, and I walked up to him and I was like, hey man, took his headphones out. I said, hey, I love your shirt, dude. I think it's hilarious. And he was like, oh yeah, I think it's awesome, dude. Thanks so much. And it just, I'm sure, you know, it probably made him feel good, and it made me feel good just for the fact that I just complimented this guy, right? And I think a lot of the time the biggest thing is we think things like this, where we think something's funny or something's cool or something's kind, or someone, you know, is parenting their child very well, but we don't ever compliment them on that. So I think it's important to sincerely pay a compliment to someone when it is due. Okay. Now, unsuccessful people, they're going to judge or condemn people, or they're going to, you know, make people feel bad, or they're not going to say anything inducive. You know, it's kind of like that saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Completely true. So if that applies to you, don't say anything at all. If you're saying rude things, you don't need to say the rude things. It's not going to make anyone's day better, including yours, okay? So be sure not to judge anybody. Don't condemn anyone. Try to see things from their point of view, and I think it's going to create a lot better of a quality of life for yourself. Quality number 3, successful people embrace change, right? So we all get scared at times for the fear of the unknown. I mean, starting a new relationship with somebody, moving different jobs, or quitting a job to start a new one, moving to a different location, whether it's out of state or out of the country, even more so. Those are all legitimate scary things. But you can't let the fear keep you from moving to the next level, because you never know that next level might be something that, you know, opens up a whole nother world of possibilities, and it might lead you to something great. And if it doesn't, that's fine too, because now you know that opportunity wasn't really, you know, conducive for me, so I'm going to drop it, and maybe that's going to open additional opportunities, or just allow you to look for other doors that can open up into a different path, you know. So embrace change. Don't be scared to do things. I mean, you will be scared naturally, but you have to kind of reprogram your mind and think, you know what, I'm going to go in this the best way I can. I'm going to hit it hard. I'm going to do exactly what I need to do, and if the outcome is great, awesome. If it's not, well, I've lived and I learned, and I won't make that mistake again, right? Embrace change. Unsuccessful people fear change, and it's okay to fear it, but they won't act on it. They're either going to avoid the change altogether, they're not going to do anything at all, or they're just going to flat out say, no, I'm not going to do that. And they may not admit it, but it's probably because the change scares them. They don't have that certainty, because we as humans like the certainty, and it may seem uncertain, so they don't want to go through with it, so they're just going to stay where they're at. And then ultimately they're not going to grow, because when you're scared to do something but then you do it, you're growing, you're achieving something, you're going beyond your comfort zone. You want to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That way, you know, fear will start melting away more and more often, and you'll be able to do things that you never thought you would do before with ease and grace. Quality number 4, forgive others. Now this is a big one, because it's easy to hold a grudge. It's easy to let someone ruin your day and think, well, forget that person, and then 2 days later you're still feeling the same way if you see them again, right? That is not what you want to do, because holding a grudge over you, it just takes so much mental and negative energy that it can literally wear you down and just exhaust you, and it's not going to be good for your soul. It's not going to be good for your happiness. So you need to be able to forgive people, and you need to be able to just kind of give people the benefit of the doubt. And at the end of the day, maybe some people do something that, you know, is unforgettable, and you just don't want to associate with that person any longer. That's perfectly fine. You want to cut out the negativity in your life, but you don't want to go on the rest of your life thinking, you know, spitefully of them and thinking, well, if they hadn't done this, then this wouldn't be this way. I would recommend forgive them, as difficult as it may be, but be the bigger person, forgive them, phase them out of your life, and then move on. That's the best thing you can do. And if they're worth sticking around in your life, and you know that they're truly a good person, then recognize that, and know that, you know what, this is my best friend, or they're a close friend. So eventually you're gonna have to forgive them. So you might as well do it sooner than later and move on from it, because just holding the grudge is not gonna be good for you. Quality number 5, successful people talk about ideas. Now, it's important that we talk about ideas. I mean, we all have these ideas and dreams and goals and ambitions, but if we don't talk about them, then no one's ever going to know that that's what we want to do. And then how are they going to encourage you or pursue you to go through with those ideas? I think it's important that you tell your friends and your family about all these ideas that you have, but then you have to take it one step further and think, well, I can't just talk about these things. I have to literally take action and start doing these things, right? Because if you just talk the talk and never walk the walk, no one can ever really take you serious, or no one's going to respect you for when you talk about your ideas, because all you do is talk. You don't really implement, right? So be sure you talk about your ideas with other people, and try not to don't talk about other people, is what I'm going to say. Unsuccessful people talk about other people. you're gonna hear people in the workplace gossip about other people, and you know what's funny is the moment that they're done gossiping to you about somebody else, when you walk away from that conversation, you better realize that they're gonna turn to someone else and gossip about you or say something negative about you. And those are the kind of people that you want to phase out from your life, because one, they're not conducive to your happiness, they're kind of spreading that negativity, and two, it's gonna rub off on you, and you are who you associate with. So if you're associating with gossipers or negative people, then you, my friend, are gonna turn into a gossiping negative person, right? You are who you hang around with. So find yourself good people who talk about ideas and who you can express your ideas with and exchange ideas and feedback and whatnot, and stick with those people. And the people who put you down or the people who put other people down are not going to be worth your time, because they have nothing much better to do than to talk about other people rather than ideas or how they can make their lives or other lives of people better. Quality number 6, successful people continually learn. Now, I talked about this last week actually, about the 6 different ways I believe that I educate myself. This all goes back on that we continually learn. It's always important that you're learning about new ideas, new subject matter, because it's going to make you a more well-rounded human being, and it's going to kind of give you all these different insights and all kinds of different subjects. It also depends on what you're learning about too, but it's best to have that expanded horizon as far as how you can contribute to conversations on this and this and that. Because when it comes time to be if you're in a group or a big meeting where a subject comes up and you don't know much about it and you can't contribute, well, think about it. Your boss or someone who is listening to someone who can contribute to that conversation is going to think maybe more highly of that person, or that they're more qualified for a certain position, and take their ideas more into account than they would yours, because you don't have any knowledge on that subject, right? Now, that's just a really specific example, but this applies to everything. I mean, it's good to always educate yourself on different things. I mean, if something goes wrong with your car, before you call the mechanic or someone else, try to maybe do some research online and, you know, describe what's happening to your vehicle and see if you can figure it out yourself. Because one, if you do, you're going to learn a lot. Two, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. And three, you're going to feel really great because you just fixed your car and you didn't think you would be able to do it, right? I think educating yourself on all the different subject matter going on in your life, and then focusing on one specific subject matter, such as success, that is why I'm doing this video, that is my main subject. You know, that's what I choose to learn about every day, is how to make my life successful, and therefore I can start helping other people make their lives successful. Do you see what I'm saying? So continually learn, and you will see and reap the benefits. Now, unsuccessful people, they think they know it all. You know, they think that, oh, I don't need to learn that, I know what I need to know. Or they're very close-minded. They're not open to new ideas or new thoughts that challenge their own ideas and opinions, right? You want to be open-minded to taking other people's thoughts or ideas, even when you know it challenges your beliefs. Because if you're so close-minded and not be able to do that, one, that person's not going to like you, because you know you're not going to accept them and their ideas. And two, it's not going to be good for your psyche to shutting people down like that and not opening yourself up. You might even learn stuff that you did never know before, and now you know it, and it's going to kind of help you have that clearer perception of things. So always be willing to listen and stay open-minded, and then that's when you can actually formulate your final conclusion as to whether or not what you say, you know, makes sense to you, or if what they're saying makes sense to you, or vice versa. Successful people accept responsibility for their failures. Right? So if something goes wrong in their life, they're not going to blame it on him or her, or on the world. They're not going to blame it on God. They're going to blame it on themselves, and they're going to think, well, okay, so I did this and it caused this to go wrong. So what can I do in the future to avoid this mistake again and to move forward from this, right? You don't want to be blaming others for something that you've done, but you will meet a lot of people who blame anyone and everyone but themselves. And get this, we know what's neat is when something goes right in someone's life, you know that they're going to be sure to say, oh, you know what, it's because I did this and I caused it to happen, high five, I did a really great job. But the moment something goes wrong, they're not going to attribute it to themselves. They're going to attribute it to some kind of external being or something natural in the world that happened, or unnatural. They're just going to blame it on anything, so they don't accept responsibility for it. But you better know, when something good happens in their life, they are accepting responsibility for the good things that happen, right? So you have to be able to accept responsibility for the things that go wrong in your life, so that way you don't have to make the mistake again. If not, it's just gonna be a never-ending cycle of doing this over again. That just creates insanity, right? Now, unsuccessful people, as I mentioned, will blame anyone or anything but themselves. They're gonna blame their boss, they're gonna blame their friend, they're gonna blame the weather, they're gonna blame God, they're gonna blame everything but themselves, and it's not gonna allow them to grow. And I guarantee you, they may not even know they're blaming someone else and they're not accepting responsibility. They may do it subconsciously, or they may do it consciously, which is even worse. But they need to realize that most of the time what goes wrong is going to be your fault in life, you know, or most of the time, something that, why you fail could be something that you did that you could have done. You could have done something to avoid something that you did do, right? So accept responsibility and grow and learn from your mistakes. Quality number 8, successful people have a sense of gratitude. Now it's important to have a sense of gratitude and being thankful for the things you have in life rather than take them for granted, right? You want to have a sense of being humble. You want to look at things from a light of, wow, I'm really grateful to have that, because that's going to really increase the level of joy that you have and can bring into your life. Unsuccessful people are going to have a sense of entitlement, thinking, well, I deserve this because of this. And you may deserve things because of what you do, but you don't ever want to come off as entitled, right? You don't want to be entitled to be in the position where you're at, even though you may be entitled to be there, but do it in a way that is humble. Do it in a way that shows gratitude. I mean, you have your employees that are lower positions than you, but you want to relate to them on a personal level, being more like a leader rather than a boss, or a manager, so to speak, right? So having that sense of gratitude, being humble can really it's going to get people to think of you more as like, man, that guy is a really nice, humble guy. He's really down to earth. I feel like I can talk to him because he sees things on my level, and he offers great wisdom. That's the kind of guy you want to be. You don't want to be the person to say, well, I deserve this because I did this. You're below me, you do this and that. No, you need to be a leader. Don't be a boss. Be humble and have gratitude. And last but not least, quality number 9, successful people create plans and have life goals, right? So if we don't ever have a plan or a goal to reach anything, then we're never really thriving, or we're never really going for anything in life besides where we're at right now, right? If you're always thinking about the present, and they always say, be in the present, which you do want to be in the present, but you need to also be in the future thinking, what am I going to do tomorrow to accomplish a goal I have for a week from now? Or what am I going to do a week from now that's going to help me to accomplish something a year from now or a month from now, right? You want to always be thinking, what can I do to make myself better, to be a more well-rounded human being, and create these plans, create these little goals, and stick to them. And the more you do, you're going to start noticing how much more productive you're being, how much more you're accomplishing in your life, and it's overall going to affect your happiness and your gratitude levels. It's going to make you more wanting to talk to people, connect with people, and people are going to gravitate towards you. They're going to be like, wow, look at this guy. He's doing all these great things for him. He's humble. He has a sense of gratitude. He's setting goals. He's achieving a lot in life. That's so conducive for success, to set goals and accomplish them and to stick to a plan. And I mentioned this quote before, but if it's as Benjamin Franklin put it. He said, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So create a plan, stick to that plan. It could be something small. It could be like a daily goal. Maybe you want to get up in the morning and then make your bed, drink a glass of water, do a little exercise. That's a great plan. Do that plan, stick to that plan, and you're going to notice, well, I did all these things that I said I was going to do. I wrote them down and I did all of them. Man, what else can I do today? What else can I do to make me productive? What else can I do to help me grow as an individual? Read? Yeah, I'm going to read a little bit, right? Educate myself? I'm going to educate myself. These are all things that are conducive to growing and becoming successful. And of course, unsuccessful people never set goals. They don't ever have life goals. They don't ever create plans. They kind of live that spontaneous lifestyle of doing this and that, which it's good to be spontaneous. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't be spontaneous, but they don't create goals. They don't set things for them to accomplish in life. They don't create plans, and they're not going to grow. They're not going to get any further in life. So the ideal thing to do is to create a plan. And your very first plan, your very first goal that I think that you should implement right now, take out your pen and paper if you don't have one already, which you should have had hopefully already. Grab a pen and paper and write down your first goal is to implement qualities 1 through 8. Start implementing those in your life. Start paying people compliments. Start reading every day. Start having a sense of gratitude. Start talking about your ideas. And anything that you do that's on the unsuccessful side of things, try to eliminate those from your life. Make that goal number 2. Make sure you don't gossip today. Try not to gossip for a whole week. Try not to go through Facebook 20 times a day and scroll through Instagram. Try not to do that. Try to incorporate these successful things. I guarantee the more you do them, the more your self-confidence and your self-esteem, those are both going to rise. Your happiness, your gratitude, your overall quality of life and abundancy, that's all going to rise. And it's going to be like a snowball effect. The more you start doing it, the bigger and bigger the snowball is going to get. And before you know it, you're going to be a successful, happy human being. Alright everybody, thank you for checking out today's video. Be sure to visit financialfever.com for more articles and blogs like this. And be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm always trying to grow. We release a video once a week. And let me know if there's anything that you want to hear about, or if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Leave a comment below. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I have all that down there. Just don't spend all day going through all my stuff. Okay guys, read a book. Have a wonderful day everybody. Make it a happy and healthy day, and we'll see you soon.